What's that thing that people need to know before they get into the story? Oh, right, backstory. So back in college, we were attempting to start a chapter of a fraternity at our university. At the time, we had created a local fraternity, but university rules stated that national backing was needed for recognition by the school's Greek council. No council recognition meant that you had jack squat for privileges at the university. No right to advertise, no right to recruit, couldn't even reserve a table in the commons. We needed Greek council recognition, which required unanimous support from all the current members. Enter our antagonist. We'll call him Richard. Dick might have been the easiest guy to hate on campus. His parents funded his tuition, his apartment, his Mustang, and his hair plugs. Just a rumor, but his hair looked like someone threw black wax pellets at a white dartboard. Pasty pale, fatter than a walrus with a sweet tooth, and owner of the most punchable face this side of Jake Paul, literally everyone outside his fraternity disliked Dick. All that said, Dick had somehow become the president of the largest fraternity on campus. Maybe his parents bought him that too, and he did not like us. Apparently, a couple of the guys in our frat had the audacity to suggest that Dick wasn't the coolest dude on earth. Dick was a firm believer of this opinion all the time. We had applied for recognition with national backing twice, and the only dissenting vote both times came from, you guessed it, Dick. That's 3 other fraternities and 4 sororities that wanted to let us in, but one group of assholes, led by Dick, keeping us out. We had other run-ins with Dick too. He had reported us for every small infraction that he could think of, called the cops on our parties once or twice, and just basically been a petty, spiteful pile of platypus shit all day, every day. What comes after the backstory? Oh yeah, the revenge. Our fraternity had 3 guys living in the closest apartment complex to campus. Being the closest apartments and cheap, there were obviously a lot of Greek life members living there, several members of many of the sororities, and one apartment full of guys from Dick's fraternity. Sadly, not Dick himself. Mommy and Daddy paid for a place on the nicer side of town. As is always the case in apartment complexes, there is never enough parking, and the owners of the complex had a lovely deal with the local towing company to profit off of anyone who parked even a tiny bit outside the rules. We all hated this until one glorious night when it worked in our favor. When Dick came to visit his fraternity brothers, he didn't bother trying to look for a legal parking spot. Those were far away, and poor bulbous Dick would have had to walk more than the distance from his couch to his fridge. So, being the privileged, cock-gobbling asshat he was, Dick just parked on the grass, directly behind my apartment. Did I know what Dick's car looked like? Yes, I knew what Dick's car looked like. I immediately did 2 things: call all the guys in my fraternity over to watch the show and call the tow company. Now, we could have just waited for the tow truck to come and reveled in the inconvenience we caused Dick, but that wouldn't have been fun. Once my fraternity brothers arrived, we found out that one of them was mechanically inclined and happened to know where the cabin air intake on a Mustang was located. So, we gathered up all the smelliest crap in my apartment, long-expired condiments, fish sticks, and I think there was some nail polish remover, I don't know why, and smeared it all around the air intake. It was midsummer. Then, just to be extra petty, we peed all over every inch of the car. We referred to him as Dick the Piss-Handed Wonder after that. Back in my apartment, with everyone looking out the windows waiting for the tow truck to arrive like kids on Christmas waiting for Santa Claus, we had one more bit of inspiration. We called a girl in one of the sororities that we knew would have Dick's number, and who also hated Dick. Remember, everyone did, and as soon as the tow truck arrived, we had her call him and say, "I think I see your car being towed." I didn't think Dick could move that fast, but he came lumbering down from the apartment like a grizzly bear on roller skates and immediately started begging the tow truck driver to leave the car. If you've ever tried to beg someone with your car already halfway up on a rollback, you know how that went. No dice. Getting the car towed was nice, vandalizing the car was fun, but few things in my college experience topped the joy of watching that scene unfold. Blubbery old Dick was crying tears that probably smelled like Crisco and Axe body spray and watching his precious car get towed away with a look on his face like someone had just told him that he could only get light mayonnaise for his sandwich. The cherry on top was finding out through the grap.